Welcome to the Srsly podcast. I'm your host, Annaliese Gann. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the Srsly podcast, where we make light of serious conversations with really interesting people. Reid, or the Salty Pinup, is a TikToker and Instagrammer well known for her mining and FIFO videos. FIFO, or fly in, fly out, is a very common method of work. Many work away on mine sites and earn the big money to get ahead and to increase their quality of life. Ashlea is no stranger to FIFO. She works as a dump truck operator. She wears pink hi-vis and has gone viral many times for her candid videos that put a feminine spin on the mining industry. In this chat, we dive into the life of Ashlea in the mining field, what it's like as a female in a male-dominated industry, and the money you can make in FIFO and opportunities it does present. Hope you love this chat because I did. Here it is. This week on the pod, we have Reid.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Ash, you've gone viral many times for your FIFO mining TikToks. How did you get into the industry?
I got into the industry about 3 years ago. It all started because I was with a previous partner and our life was very intense with businesses. And every single day was work. And I'm the type of gal that loves a bit of free time, and I had absolutely none of that. So after 8 years, me and my ex-partner separated, and I just thought, what type of lifestyle do I want? And that was the most appealing thing for me about working FIFO. So I've always done a 2-and-2 roster. So I'm away for 2 weeks and then I have 2 weeks off. And since doing that, I have just been able to travel, spend more time with my family and friends and literally just do whatever I want. So that is how I got into FIFO and why I decided to get into it as well.
And what is your role?
My role, so I'm a dump truck operator, so I'm
Nice.
hauling dirt all day long.
That is super cool. And guys, she's really pretty. And I'm not going to stereotype because this is why she's here, because we want more women in the industry, but you're very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And I bet people are shocked when you're like, this is my role.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, mostly. I mean, I guess if you're, a local to WA and you're in mining, so many people do mining, so it's probably not a huge shock. But I guess that's probably why a lot of my videos have gone viral as well, because if you're not familiar with the industry, you wouldn't associate sort of a younger blonde girl driving big trucks with the men out in the desert. So I suppose that's where that stereotype comes in.
That is so cool. Can you give me a bit of an idea of your day? Like when you're on site, what time do you get up? What time do you start work? Do you wear pink hi-vis as well?
I do.
I would do that too. I love that so much. So tell me a bit about your day.
So my day consists of waking up at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Rolling out of bed, much, to the comments that I get online from all the men that it must take me hours to get ready. I usually get ready in about 10 minutes because, I try and sleep as much as possible. I'll roll out of bed, have a quick shower, put my clothes on. I'm straight to the mess. The mess is where we get all our lunches, our food. Then we're on the buses, 5 a.m., 5:30 we're having a meeting, and then by 6 a.m. we're on our trucks. 5:45 we're parking the trucks up, we're back on a bus, back to camp, getting dinner, back to room, bed. So
wow.
Yeah, it's full on. You don't get too much time, for yourself, but it's you're on a pretty tight schedule when you're away.
Do you actually enjoy driving the trucks?
Yes and no. So I will admit I do have days which are quite fun. You're doing different things and in different areas, but majority of the time it's actually quite a monotonous job. And
yeah, I've heard.
If you just like to chill and, not associate yourself with anyone, it's a perfect job because you can just sit in your cab, you're alone all day and just do your thing. But for me, I find it's, my mind is racing a million miles an hour. I've got so many ideas, so many things. So it's quite difficult for me to do that in the sense that it's hard to sit there for 12 hours a day just alone with your thoughts. So
can you play music?
Yeah, you can play music. So some sites I have to be careful what I say here. You're not allowed to listen to you're not allowed your phone. So you can't listen to podcasts or anything unless you download them onto like a USB. But they have the radio and everything, or you can put all your music on a USB. So you can definitely still listen to all of that, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I think I would really love being a truck driver. Like, because Tyler knows, like, I love driving motorbikes and, like, I love cars.
Okay.
And I'm actually from a farm.
Yeah, I heard that, Dardanup.
Yeah, so I've actually driven a tractor before.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, I love, like, being, like, high up and, like, I don't know. And, like, I don't get to do it much, but I'm like.
You'd look great on a tractor.
Thanks. I try my best. I want to ask, since becoming TikTok famous and you've gone viral many times, what has that been like for you? And like, were you shocked or were you surprised? Or was that like, no, I want to do TikTok. I want to do Instagram.
I suppose I always had my Instagram account and I always had the ambition to be a content creator. However, Instagram was always a bit slow for me. I've got a small following on there, but when I got onto TikTok, I sort of wasn't 100% sure what direction I wanted to head in. And that wasn't really planned when I started talking about FIFO. It happened when I started a new job, which was good and bad at the time. But I had literally started a brand new job and started filming these TikToks, you know, up in my room and up around the camp. And then that's when they started going viral. And it was sort of like, oh, shit, people are actually interested in this. And then I just continued to make them. And then that's when they started blowing up more and more, because I suppose if you're not in the FIFO industry, you have no idea what, you know, your partner's doing up there or where they go to eat or where they do their laundry, just small things like that people were so interested in. So I just started showing more and more, and then more people started jumping on board and asking lots of questions. And yeah, it was pretty cool how it all eventuated from there.
It is very interesting for someone who's not in FIFO to watch your videos, but also it's interesting because you are a female. You're very beautiful, and I guess you're not the stereotypical miner that the media would portray, but I love your videos for that reason. So I want to ask, is it hard working in a male-dominated industry? Like, is there ups and downs?
There's definitely ups and downs, and especially when all these videos started going viral, it was, especially at my new site, I was known as the TikTok girl.
Oh, so they knew you.
Yeah, so that took a bit of a mental toll on me in the beginning because it was brand new. I knew no one, and either they were on board with me or they weren't. So I had to pick and choose, you know, who my friends were at the start. At my current site, it's really great because it's a female-owned site that I work at, and she is very passionate about getting more women into the industry. So I'm very fortunate that, you know, a lot of the site is tailored towards women. So that's fantastic. And off the top of my head, I think we have about 30% females working at my site,
That's
which
pretty
is
high.
It's quite high, which is really great. Whereas opposed to my last site was only 9%.
Oh,
so
you're like, I was the only one.
literally, there was
Made up
only a
that
few
ratio.
of us. Yeah, and I have definitely experienced like the old school mentality of, you know, it's a men's world type thing, and a lot of the older men still have that. I don't know how to say this, but like boomer humor.
Misogyny.
Yeah.
You can just say misogyny.
And so, you know, it's often I'll get that, oh, I get to sit next to the blonde on the bus, and it's like, you know, it gets old. But, you know, I'm fortunate that where I work now, I feel really lucky I don't have to deal with that very often, and I have a great group of people that I work with. So I don't ever feel uncomfortable or anything at my site, but it does happen. So I think that's where a lot of women come to me in my videos for the advice, because they see on the news all of the sexual harassment and everything that, you know, comes out of the mines. So they are hesitant to get in. And that's where I feel I have a, you know, obligation to tell how it can be. And there are lots of benefits to working in the mine as a female. So
What are they?
I mean, the benefits for working in mining in general, I guess it's not just as a female, but I don't want women to feel discouraged in getting into the mines because it is a great opportunity to set yourself up. You can earn great money. You can have the time off. And you can learn new skills. Not everyone goes to university or becomes a millionaire entrepreneur online. And so, especially in Western Australia, we're really fortunate to have lots of opportunities within the mining industry. So if females want to give it a go, I definitely, encourage them to do that, because once you get in, there are so many females who love it and thrive. So
Hey guys, if you've loved listening to the Srsly podcast, we'd really appreciate a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify podcasts. It keeps us making incredible content for all of you to hear. Thanks so much. Speaking of spontaneity, you just went to Paris.
yeah.
Guys, she must be doing quite well. I mean, come on, the flight's there from Perth. Anywhere's expensive from Perth, let's be honest. How was it? And you went with your partner.
So I have a partner. Now, how this all happened is I actually went over to the States for a holiday and for a wedding, and this was already planned. And my partner Thomas was going back to Paris to see his family, and 2 weeks away from him is ridiculously hard. And I was in the States for a month, and then we just thought, hey, why don't I come to Paris? So I actually flew from Miami straight to Paris, and I spent 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks with him in Paris. It was beautiful. It was summer. He showed me around, and I got to meet his family. So that was really beautiful. And then I came home, and he came home as well. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
What does he think of your success?
I feel so lucky to have such a supportive partner. He's absolutely amazing. I've never sort of felt like I'm in competition or anything with him, which I bring that up because I have with previous partners, and it's just been such a strange dynamic. But with him, he's just so supportive, and he's so proud of me, and it's really lovely because he's the type of person that we can build together and make future plans with. So that's really exciting.
That's what you want.
Exactly.
And it's like, when you're in a relationship where they're competing with you, it's just like, it's not it.
It's not it. No, thank you.
Speaking of relationships, how do you make your relationship work working in FIFO, working away? Because my partner's in FIFO. I find it very hard from my end. I couldn't imagine your guys' end. But I am like, I want you to come home. Prince, my puppy, misses you. Like, I get really resentful, but then I think you're doing this for us. Mm-hmm. How does it work for you?
Yeah, it's really hard. And I've been on both ends as well. I've been in your position, and I hated when my partner was away. It was so hard. Like, even though you're fortunate that you're at home, you're in your bed every night, you've got your friends, your family if you want to see them, but it's still hard. You're away from your partner. And then being on this side of it, a lot of my videos, if you've been watching, I'm really positive. I'm, trying to just inject happiness into everyone and shed, the positive sides of FIFO. But at the same time, now that I'm quite serious with my partner, I struggle. Like, it's fucking hard being away. Like, honestly, I hate it. I hate being away from him.
Okay, so you find it hard on both ends, but harder now because you're very in love.
Yeah, very, very in love. And so, generally like a week is fine, but in that second week, I'm like, no, like I can't do this anymore. And it's hard because every 2 weeks you're going away again, and there's no stopping that. So you just it's so exciting when you only have a few days left on site. You get to come home to your partner. We get a week together, 10 days, and then you go, oh shit, I have to start preparing myself to go back to site, and we have to do it all over again. And I can't even imagine having children. Like, we don't have kids or anything. So having a family, that's just a whole nother dynamic to throw into the mix.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it. And that's why I've said to my partner when we do have kids, can you please come back to Perth? Because I'm not going to do it.
Exactly. I guess they do have family-friendly rosters, which is, 7 and 7. And that's actually something
that 1 week on, 1 week off?
Yeah. Or they might be a bit different depending on each site, 8 and 6 or whatever. But generally a week on, week off. So a lot of families do that at my site. And I'm considering doing that as well. So
Cool.
even though, I love having my 2 weeks off, I'm a lady of leisure, but, at the moment we don't have any huge trips planned. So I'm thinking I might look down that route because 2 weeks away from my love is too hard. So
I get it. I want to talk to you about working out and food at the mines, because there's buffets, there's so much food. How do you stay fit and healthy? And don't you have a background in fitness?
yeah, so a long time ago, I was actually a personal trainer. I did a lot of sport. I played football down in Bunbury. So I did all that. But I will admit, starting FIFO, my lifestyle has changed quite a lot in regards to fitness, in the sense that it's just hard to get a routine. When you're up at site, you really need to be like on the ball and really motivated to stick with a fitness routine, because you have so little time after work. And I'll be honest, like I'm actually quite lazy when I'm away at work, because I'll finish work and then I'll go have my dinner, I'll get my lunch ready for the next day. And then by the time I get back to my room, I'm either so tired and falling asleep, or, I want to call my partner and, see how his day's been. And then I'm showering and getting into bed. So I do struggle, but, if I'm really motivated, I have to go up there in that mindset and be like, okay, bitch, you're working out this swing. Like you can do it. And I take all my work clothes, and you just have to force yourself. But I have friends and they go every night. They're so good. I don't know how they do it. I need to take a leaf out of their book and ask them.
I'm tired after a 9-hour day, let alone a 12 one. And I'm just on the couch. And then when I ring T, it's like, have you gone to the gym today? I say that to him and he's like, Annaliese, I'm exhausted. So I get it.
Yeah, it is hard, but I don't want people to be discouraged as well, like if they are looking to get into mining, because I get that question all the time, like, do you have time for the gym? Like, yeah, you do, but you have to get off the bus. You have to go straight to your room, get changed. Don't fuck around. You got to get to the gym. You're there for 45 minutes to an hour, straight to dinner. Like it can definitely be done. But yeah, I'm just a little bit lazy. But I do try and eat somewhat healthy. So maybe that's where my balance comes in. And I'm so fortunate that we have really great food at my site.
Can you talk to me about the food? I'm really interested in this because he never takes photos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, show me the buffet. I want to see.
Yeah, and that's why people are so interested, because we forget, because we see the same old shit every day. But if you're not up at site, you've got no idea what options we have.
Can you talk to me? Like, do you just walk in and it's a room full of food?
Pretty much. Like, so, you know, the Crown, like if you go to the Crown buffet, just without all the glam, it's like that with the Bain Marie's and different sections. But really, some people are so unfortunate. Like, there are some sites and the food is literal dog shit. So I'm so fortunate that, you know, we have quite a high food budget, so we really get looked after. But, you know, yeah, you've got Bain Marie's of all the dinner, you've got salad stations, you've got cheese stations and dessert stations and already pre-made meal station, literally everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you just have your pick of the...
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. So it is easy at my side at least to eat healthy, but then I'm a sucker for sweet treats and they have the most amazing
Do they have
cakes
dessert?
and dessert. Oh, every night.
That would be me, babe.
Yes.
The custard and the cream and the fruit.
Yeah,
That
literally.
just take my money. Oh, wait, you don't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
That's what my partner says. Like, he's actually saved so much money on food because you don't have to pay for food.
Yeah, and even I'm so bad with online shopping, but when I'm away, I got no time to even shop.
You're
so
like, I'm dead.
I spend nothing, so it's great.
That would be good for me because I have a shopping addiction. We can talk about that on another episode. But one of the quotes that you talk about a lot is living my best life. And you say, I'm the CEO of living my best life. Do you believe your working away and financial stability has enabled you to do this?
Yes.
And is that why you say that?
Absolutely. So 100% I do feel like I'm the CEO of living my best life because I do. Like, that is literally what I strive for in life, especially because I don't have children and, you know, I now have a partner, but that was even stronger when I was single. Like, I would just do whatever the fuck I want. Like, 1 minute, yeah, I'm literally in LA, then I'm in Bali, and then mostly it's travel. But also, yeah, I had no other real commitment. So I could just do whatever I wanted on that 2 weeks. Like I get good money, so I'm cashed up. Like I can literally do whatever. And that's what keeps me happy in life, you know, going on adventures, traveling, having nice things, but also, setting myself up to have a house, you know, have a business one day for myself, doing all of that. But most of it as well is just the story. I love to come back to the gals and send them a voice note and be like, you wouldn't fucking believe where I am right now. So it's just a big laugh. But yeah, no, really, CEO of living my best life, just because I can, and I'm in a position to do that. And I suppose that's why a lot of other people want to get into FIFO as well, because they see me doing all this like wild stuff on my breaks, and I'm in America and I'm doing all this stuff, and it's great. So
because with normal work, like we would have to inform, hey, we're going on leave, we're going here. Do you have to tell anyone where you're flying to?
No.
That's even better.
I mean, unless I literally want to take a swing off, you know, so then I have 6 weeks off, you know, I will book that. But that's the one of the things I love about FIFO is, you know, I get all these arguments online. Oh, yeah, but it's the equivalent hours to 9 till 5. Yes, George, but you have to book your annual leave, you know, for 2025, you know, in 2 years' time for your week off. Like, no thanks. So that's what I love about it. You know, every 2 weeks I have 2 weeks off, so I could go away or do a road trip or something if I wanted to.
The freedom,
absolutely.
I also want to ask, like, because you inspire a lot of women and men who look up to you and think, cool, I'd love to get into mining. Do you have any tips on people who want to enter the industry? Where do they start?
Where do they, honestly, like it's the biggest question I get. I get probably, you know, 10 to 15 DMs every single day, and I feel terrible because I can't reply to everyone, but I do try and make the occasional videos informing people how I started, and just trying to give tips, because like there are so many jobs, but at the same time, it is challenging if you don't know where, because a lot of the jobs you need experience. If you don't have experience, how are you going to get a job? So I have a few tips, and that's how I've got, you know, myself a job, some of my friends a job, etc. Especially with the dump trucks, because a lot of the companies offer traineeships. So when you have no experience, that's how I got into the industry. I actually started in utilities. I did a few months cleaning and bar work just so I could put FIFO on my resume and actually just see if I could handle the heat, the flies, being away. And then I applied for what we call a traineeship with the dump trucks. And a lot of people see them online and they just apply through Seek and they sit back and wait. But I was calling the companies every second day, probably for 3 or 4 weeks. And my ex-partner at the time worked for the company and still couldn't get me a job. So it was because I was calling and just harassing them. Hey, can I speak to the person in the right department? Hey, can I speak to the person in the right department? And then eventually I got through, no dramas. And then, you know, did some tests online and then got put into the program. So that's one of my biggest things, is just to actually call, because they have the traineeships. This one's a bit of hit and miss. Not everyone agrees with me on this one, but you can go and get tickets. So there are all different types of tickets that you can get, whether they are on machines or just, you know, like white cards for civil, like in construction or working from heights, and just showing initiative that you're actually interested in getting a job in the industry, because there's other roles as well, like assistants and drillers, offsiders and all of that. Or I guess if you know a supervisor or something, they can always put you forward. But yeah, I just guess being proactive with it is probably one of my biggest tips. Don't just sit back and apply on Seek and expect to, you know, get a job. Actually, you know, try and contact the companies direct, because you can speak to them. So I could go on and on, but yeah, I guess that's just probably my biggest tip.
With the traineeship, is it a good enough wage? Is it like higher than like an average wage probably in Perth?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll just like I am open about that on my, you know, TikTok and everything about the wage transparency. I mean, I think when I started like 3 years ago, I think for the first 3 months I started on maybe 33 an hour. After that, it went up to 38. and now being an experienced operator, I think I'm on about 53 an hour. So, and then, as you progress on different machines and whatnot, it only goes up again. So
amazing. Do you think you'll do any other roles in mining? Like, are you interested to branch out? Or do you love your job?
No, I'm definitely motivated by progressing. So I would love to progress, within the industry, whether or not I stay in production or, move to a Perth-based role, which would be nice to be home each night. So, that's definitely on the cards so I can be home and spend a bit more time with my love. But, definitely would like to move into a different area.
And I want to ask, what's next for you? Like, do you want a family? Do you want like the white picket fence, or are you more like modern? Bit of both.
What's
your vibe?
Sort of all the above. So I've just purchased a house in Bunbury. So
amazing.
Going for the white picket fence vibes. I love that. I love living in Bunbury.
Are you living there now?
No. I've just moved to Perth. So I've always lived in Mandurah, and then I've just moved to Perth recently.
So is the house for like future? Like for your kids to go in?
Yeah, so it's a future plan, Okay. So depending how, life pans out, my goal is to Airbnb it if I'm still working away.
Yep.
So it's a really cute house for that. It's got a pool, big entertaining area, so it's gorge. So that's my goal. So sort of I'm always trying to think business-wise as well, to bring in another income stream. So that was the thoughts behind that. Whether I'm living in it, like it's currently being rented, I'll keep it that way. If we decide to move in like a year or so, I have that opportunity. But I definitely see it as like a family type house. It's in a really great area. But what's next? So my partner and I have also started our own TikTok account. So
yes, what's the handle?
Ash and Thomas.
Go and follow. They're very cute and they're both very attractive. It's unfair.
Thank you. So we're, starting that platform. It's a lot of sort of couple content. And honestly, like that would be our long-term goal, is to make that a career.
What's one note you want to leave this podcast on?
One piece of advice, I suppose, if you are a female and you have been wanting to get into this, you're really just wanting to get ahead in life and just start living, I would use this as your sign, listening to us now, that it definitely can create a really great life for you, and don't be put off because, there is the assumption that it's a male-dominated industry, because it really can set you up in a really positive way. So go, gal. And guys.
Thank you so much, Ash, for coming on. Seriously.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
It's been so fun. Thanks, guys. This has been an amazing interview, and I'll catch you next week for another one. Bye.